We're live. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. We will let notifications go out and let you all catch up with the fact that we are live and online. It is another rainy day in Fairfax, Vermont. It is literally, I think this is the rainiest summer ever. And I can't even believe it's August. My birthday is like what's today? The 19th?
6 days.
Yeah, so 6 days.
Yeah, 6 days.
I turned 55. I'm the speed limit. What the fuck? How did that even happen? I don't even understand. I fail to understand how that happened. We are live. Good morning. All right, we got some people starting to roll in here. We're going to talk about a potpourri of things this morning. Let us know if you're here, if you're watching, where you're hailing from. We'll wait until we see a couple of here we go. People are starting to realize we're online. So, yeah. When is summer officially over?
The end is like September 21st, technically. I think it's when Virgo season ends, too.
It feels like fall here.
Oh, John's
John, I'm here upstairs. Yes, dear. We know. That would be my husband. He's watching. Good morning, Priscilla. All right. Well, we're just going to start rolling. So I said we were going to talk about the difference between 10 times thinking and 2 times thinking. Good morning, Dolly. So let's start there. Grant Cardone has a lot of stuff out there about go 10 times bigger. And so that's not what we're talking about. I kind of prefaced that last week. Good morning, Liz. But I want to say that again. So 10 times versus 2 times. Hi, Jennifer. There's a special coaching offer out there, Jen, and it's only good until August 31st. So it's in the group. I tagged you if it's something you want to do. For any of the rest of you, I am offering, I don't really do one-on-one work anymore, except with executives. So once in a while, I will throw out something to do with the not the working single mom anymore, with the working coach mom crowd at a very, very discounted rate. So I did throw something up. It's a 4-month intensive program. This is a short commercial. A 4-month intensive program to work with me one-on-one in 4 sessions. You'll have homework. You'll have a workbook. There'll be a bunch of stuff. If you want to move your ass from where you are to where you always wanted to be, if you're tired of not having it all the way that you want it, then we are going to architect your life for 2024, and we're going to walk you out of 2023 in a different way. So if that's something that you're interested in, it is in the group. It is up on the Teachable School. I did divide it into a 2-payment situation so that people could, I discounted it. So it's like $597 for the program. I let you pay in 2 payments. You have to enroll through the link on my Teachable School. And I will be launching more content on the school, by the way. And some of it will be free and some of it will be paid. And most of it will be lower price points, like a course for $59 or a course for $99 or maybe even a few for $199 and a few for free. So just so you know, this coaching offer is for people that really want to move. It's for people that aren't of the faint of heart and want to do the work. So don't even bother me saying that you want to be in it if you're not willing to do the work. I'm not interested in coaching you. I'm only interested in coaching people that are willing to put down some money on their intention and do the work, which is why it's priced for you guys the way that it is. My normal rate for something like that is over $1,000. So it is deeply discounted. Okay, all that being said, if you are not a member of the group Wheel of Change, which is the Facebook group that goes along with this page, you can join the group and you can find the link in there, or you can email me privately and I will send you the link. I have 5 spots left, by the way. I only opened 10 spots. And we've got 5 people that have told me. A couple people have already signed up. A couple people more want to sign up. And so I've got 5 spaces filled. Okay, my commercial is over. So the difference between 10 times and 2 times is like this. When you say, I want to double my income, then that's like 2 times thinking. So you're kind of thinking like in the way that you think, you're thinking a little bit bigger than that, right? So that's kind of like you know ways that you could double your income. I'm just using your income as an example. So it's familiar. It's like playing in the playground where you already know all the kids. When you make a 10 times intention, or you say, I want to go 10 times from where I am, I want to take my business 10 times out, I want to take my personal fitness plan 10 times out, you don't know how to do that. You have no idea. So now this requires you to be a different human. This requires you to figure it out, right? It requires you to open up new pathways of thinking. It requires you to throw away everything that you know and roll up your sleeves and dig the hell into, like, how the hell do I do this? I have no idea. How do I go 10 times? That's like way off my scope. What do I even do? So now you're in, I don't know, which is the place of creativity. Okay? Because 2 times, you know. Yeah, I can get more clients. I can get a raise. I can get a bonus. 2 times is familiar. 10 times blows your mind. 10 times is like, what? What are you talking about? I can't go 10 times. What? How will I do that? I don't know. Now you're in a place of creativity. Now we cracked something open, and now something new can happen. Okay? So part of this too is you have to, before you can create 10 times, you have to get what you got. You have to see how far you came. Most of us are judging ourselves based on where we are versus where we want to go. And we go, oh, I'm only here and I have 67 more things I want to do, and I'm not doing so good. No, this is the problem. Because when you stay in here, I'm here, I want to go there. When I look at how far I've come in my life, I look here and I look at where I want to go. And now I feel shitty about myself because I'm not there yet. And I come up with all kinds of reasons, and like I come up with all kinds of stuff, which none of that is gratitude, by the way. None of that is like, woo, I'm a badass. Look how far I've come. None of that happens. When you go, I'm here, I want to go there. When you ask me to look at how far I've come, Noelle, I only see where I need to go, and I haven't come that far. Cool. All right. You can stay there if you want to. Ain't shit gonna happen there, but stay there if you want. You got to go backwards. When I say to you, let's look at how far you've come, I want you to go 2 decades back to that chick or that dude and come forward to where you're sitting right now. That's a whole different ball game, right? That's a whole different feeling. Holy shit, I've come a long way. I've done a lot of things. I've manifested a lot of stuff. I'm a freaking badass. You see what I'm saying? So when you're there, when you're going from where you were to where you are, and that's how you're looking at your progress, you feel a whole different way about yourself than if you're looking at your progress from where you are to where you want to be. Almost everyone, unless you've had this conversation with somebody, is judging themselves from where they are now against where they want to be. And then they kind of stay in a shitstorm because it's never enough. This is how you feel like you're never enough. This is how your self-worth takes a hit. This is how you feel like you're not good enough, or you can't, or you never will be able to, because you're always going to want to go higher and further. And if you keep judging your progress from where you are to where you want, against where you want to go, how, you see, it's like a hamster in a wheel kind of a situation, right? Karen, you want to say something about that? Because maybe you can.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I'm in a place now where I was saying the other week, like I reached a goal, and then you're like, okay, like shit, now what? And then, but then you need 10x it and moving forward. But it goes back to thinking about the past, and that's a lot for me. That's gratitude work, and that's and that incorporate, and that's where I'm at right now, is incorporating gratitude work a lot more, a lot more.
And that's like a deep gratitude word,
Yeah.
right? Because, you know, when Antonio left, I'll just use my life as an example. Right after Antonio was born, I filed bankruptcy. We were living in a place that was a shithole. I mean, I made it as nice as possible, but like the carpet in the kitchen was sticky and the press board sink had been like water damaged, and you would, if you pulled the drawer, like the whole front of the sink like would come forward. It was, thank God he doesn't remember any of that, but like I had no money. I had just left my husband, and that's a whole nother story of why, but if I told you the story, you would be like, yes, that was the thing to do. And you know, I mean, it was, I made the best out of what I had. You know, the furniture, I had covers from remember Kmart, like I would buy those cotton blankets and I tucked them, you know, over furniture, and I sewed my own pillow covers for the, you know, sofa. And I mean, it looked, you know, it was immaculate, it was clean, but man, what, like, it was
what a shit show.
Something. It was something. And you know, so that was, he's going to be 23, so that was like 20. So if I go back 2 decades, that's where I was sitting, you know. And the reason I had to file bankruptcy is because my grandfather got cancer, and I became a primary caretaker while I was pregnant, and I left my job to do so. And when I left my job, obviously I had no income, so I couldn't pay, you know, my bills. Because when I was younger, I had a great job. I thought I was a badass, and I got every store credit card known to mankind because I thought I was cool because I could. And then, of course, when you don't have a job and you can't make those payments, that's a problem. So that was a problem. And my husband at the time, you know, his solution was just file bankruptcy. Like, he could have just gone and gotten a second job, but that just wasn't what he chose to do. So, you know, anyway. So that's a whole nother story, but I cried all the way to bankruptcy court. I cried the whole time I was in there, and I cried all the way home because I come from a family that works hard. And, you know, taking that way out was not what I imagined, but I didn't know what else to do. I had a baby, and I had this, we're friends now, Antonio's father and I, and I won't speak ill. So it was what it was. And I did the only thing I could figure out to do in that moment. Fast forward 23 some odd years later, right? The kid's going to be 23. We're going to look at his new gym. He's opening his own, he has his own business. He's killing it. He's going to open a gym. We're on our way to look at that property with him in a little while. And, you know, it's a whole nother story, right? And now I have several companies that I shepherd and one that I own, and it's different. However, if I looked at where I am and where I think I ought to be, where I want to be, I would tell you I haven't come that far, because it still looks like there's things, you know, the to-do list, which you guys know, I've been working on mastering this for a decade. Well, I've been talking to you for almost that much time. So, right, it's like that. It's like, either there's a deep gratitude for all of the things that have occurred in the last 2 decades and where I sit now, or there's this, wow, you haven't really gotten where you wanted to get. And that creates a very different energy for what you're able to do with what's next. 10 times creation requires a deep gratitude for where you are and where you've been. Really hard to try to reinvent yourself, to create a 10 times mentality for yourself and because let me tell you something, to go 10 times where you are now is going to require you to be a different human being. And I've been, you know, I'm always studying what I'm talking to you about. So I've been thinking about this and really working with it. And it's caused me to, I have flipped just about everything in my life. I've gotten rid of furniture. I switched cars. I switched jewelry. I literally in the last probably 6 weeks have done, leading up to my birthday, have done this whole, like, who do I want to be? What do I want to have in there? What do I want to weigh? What do I want to drive? What do I want to wear? And I'm getting rid of anything that isn't that. And from there, I'm going to create what's next, right? So I invite you all to start looking at this, looking at, what are you telling yourself about how far you've come? What are you telling yourself about where you are now? Do you wake up in the morning thinking like, wow, I have really come a long way. I'm pretty incredible. Or do you wake up like, oh shit, I have 67 things I didn't get done yesterday and 80 more to do today? How are you talking to yourself? That matters. That matters more than anything else, more than anything I can tell you, more than anything you'll read, more than any YouTube thing you'll watch or Spotify podcast that you'll listen to. What matters the most is, what are you saying to yourself? What's the rhetoric inside your head? What is it? What are you saying to yourself? How are you talking to yourself? Kristen says, thank you for talking about the need to compare your now to your past. This has been hitting me in the face in the last 24 hours. My son just turned 25 and we're in such a better place now. Amen to that, Kristen. Yeah. Absolutely. I would venture to say that most of you are looking at where you are against where you want to be instead of where you are versus where you were 20 years ago. And I would further assert that if you started this week, just dug into that a bit, you would probably feel a hell of a lot better about yourself, because you would see what you've done. You would see the work that you've done in the last 20 years. If you're sitting here watching this, if you're spending your Saturday morning with us or even watching it later after the fact, if you take time to even watch me and Karen and I or Tracy, whatever, if you take time to watch us or listen to us, then you're working on yourself. It's a conversation that you're open to. And even if you don't have a solid practice that you're doing every single day, maybe you're not there yet, you're still taking time on your Saturday or on your weekend to listen to a conversation that's going to open you up to looking at things in a new way. One of the free things that I'm going to create, by the way, is this workbook that I'm going to use in my intensive, but I'm going to do like a 1 hour session and make the workbook a free downloadable. So it'll be a teachable course, but it'll be free. And my intention is to get it up within the next couple of days. So we'll see how that goes. My intention is to have it up before my birthday. I really want to help you all. I want to fast track help the 10 people that want to work with me one-on-one. And I want to help the rest of you finish your 2023 in a different headset and architect your 2024 now in September, October, November. I want you to plan for it. I want everyone looking at this like we're going to build a building and we're going to start looking at what are the foundational things that we're going to use. What kind of concrete are we going to use? What kind of flooring are we going to use? What kind of lighting do we want? Where do we want the mantle to go? Where do we want the mirrors to go? We're going to do that kind of architecting for your future, because most of us just speed through the last quarter. We're like, shit, we didn't do as good as we thought. And, most people give up at this point in the year because you're like, it's the year. And now the holidays are coming. No, you still have 4 solid months. We still have 4 solid months for you to change the way you're looking at it. And I promise you, how you finish is how you'll start. So if you've already given up, if you're like, September now, if you already have given up on this year, on 2023, because it didn't do, be, and have all the things you wanted it to do, be, and have, then you're foolish, truthfully, because you have 4 solid months where you could roll up your sleeves and get some work done, working on reframing whatever's happened, creating some new stuff happening in the next 4 months, and then framing out how you want to go forward into the future. And that is a damn powerful place to walk into the holidays. Most people walk into the holidays in a frenzy because they don't have enough money, or they don't feel like they're enough, or they feel like they failed, or they're not making time, or whatever. We're gonna really talk about that over the next, I
like that.
We can really encourage you to frame this 4 months in a different way and have a different experience with your whole holiday season, and a different experience with ending your year and beginning the next year. Erica is saying, I feel like I graduated in May, I hit a rut, and I really need to get back into the go-get-it mindset.
Yeah, same. Career. August always has that kind of shift. I feel like that transition.
Yeah.
September, I mean, for me, like, and I'm not even super religious, but I always really observe Rosh Hashanah in my religion, which is the Jewish New Year, and that's always in September. And I like doing that because by the time you hit December, you still have fresh goals, and like you're saying, you don't feel in that rut, in that frenzy, in the I'm overeating for the holidays from Thanksgiving all the way to Christmas, but it'll be fine. I'll change it in December. But if you do it in September, you already have those practices fresh, and I love that. I love that.
Yeah, and my birthday obviously is August 25th, so it's right before Rosh Hashanah.
Right.
So for me,
and
I start, and you too. So for us, like I'm starting now. Like the holidays for me, January 1st never feels like the beginning. It's always my birthday that feels like the leading up to my birthday is kind of the release and the, kind of looking at everything and then starting fresh. Erica's saying, and she's not registered for classes this semester, so now she feels worse. Erica, if you want a one-on-one coach with me, you can, because I got 5 spaces open, and I promise you we'll reinvent you, or anybody else. There's 5 spots open. Again, the link is in the group only. It is not advertised on the public page, and it is not anywhere else. It is only for those of you that are really watching me on a regular basis and kind of working with the material, because I don't want to work with just anybody. I want to work with people that are serious about changing, transforming their lives. I don't want you to change. I want you to transform. I want to transform you from where you are into what you want to be, who you are into what you want to be. So anyway, this whole 10 times 2 times, right? Jen Harvey just texted my cell phone and said there's only 4 spots open, Noelle, because I'm claiming mine right now. All right, Jen, you hear that? 4 spots left, folks. And if you are not a member of the group and you can't figure out how to become a member of the group, you can email me privately, and we can discuss, and I will send you the link if I think it's a good fit for us to work together. So here's the thing. You can either keep doing what you're doing and get what you've always gotten, because that's what will happen. Or you can get on my birthday track with me, because this is the last coffee chat before my birthday, because on Saturday we'll have been, actually the next time we see you, right, Karen, Saturday's the 26th. Karen and I will be in Boston together, and it will be 3 years since my mother's passed away. So for me, ever since she passed away the day after my birthday, this time of year becomes very poignant for me, in, kind of looking at what was and looking at what I want to be. And this year, I didn't want to be here on my birthday. I wanted to be in Boston, and Karen and Josh and one of my clients and another one of our friends, and we're gathering together in Boston to celebrate my birthday. Last September, you motivated to finish. Oh, good. See, Stevie was motivated last year to finish the year strong, using that same advice for momentum this year.
Special for that.
That's awesome. Erica, I was doing good getting my daughter ready for school. Oh, and she tested positive. She tested for COVID. All right. So listen, there's going to be stuff, right? We know this. Life is always throwing stuff. So remember that you have a choice. Remember you have a choice in how you respond to this stuff, right? Life is going to throw you stimuli. Bleh, Noelle needs more coffee. Life is going to throw stimuli at you. You can figure out how to respond to that, or you can react to it badly emotionally, and and then nothing good will happen, right? So do you want to be the hamster on the wheel, or do you want to get off the wheel and create something completely new? Most people don't create anything new. They shift, or they stay in two-time thinking, right? And they just move it around a little so it looks different. Oh, see, I changed my life. No. 10 times thinking, right, is crashing into two times and blowing it up. Red Betty, I see you. Red Betty's thinking about becoming a client in this intensive. She hasn't pulled the trigger yet. 10 times requires you to be somebody different. It's going to require a person you don't even know yet. I'm in the whole, I want to 10 times it, and I don't even know who's going to come out the other side of kind of this reconstructing thing that I'm up to, right? Dumping all the old stuff, studying a few new things, figuring it all out. I went into the post office yesterday for the first time, and I don't know, probably like a couple months that I've been in there and seen one of the girls. I live in a small town, so everybody kind of knows everyone. And she was like, "You look completely different." And I was like, "I do?" She's like, "Yeah, there's something about you. You look completely different." And I'm like, "Huh." I'm like, "Yeah, well, I'm finding my badass again.
It's working.
That's really it." And so I would ask you, like, where did your badass go? Because, 20 years ago, to live in that shithole with a little baby and just keep rolling, like I had to access my badass. That's what got me through all that time. And then somewhere over the last little bit, it's not like it went away, but we talked about this last week, right? Some versions of myself just, I don't know, faded, and they have to be brought back, because that's the broad that walks me into the future. That's the 10 times chick. That chick. She's a badass, man. Don't mess with her. I promise you. And she hasn't been super present over the last little bit. I'm not sure how that happened. Maybe she wasn't really required because I pretty much had everything in hand, or I don't know. Right? So, or maybe it's because when mom died, like that was a hard hit for me, because, my mom planned to live to 95, and we kind of had a plan. And then she became somebody I didn't know and kind of gave in to a whole thing. And then she died. And that wasn't what we said. That wasn't what we agreed on. That wasn't what we said was going to happen. So that was like, whoa, okay. That, and then, COVID, right? That kind of screwed with everybody. Anyway, it's time to 10 times, right? It's time, if you want to shift, if you really want to change, if you really want to move things around. Priscilla, right now I feel stuck. I'm waiting for the result of a biopsy. Priscilla, I'm going to take a little commercial here. Priscilla, I'm going to give you a little tool. Don't give any attention to any outcome that you don't want. Immediately start to put your attention on what you say is so important. Denial is your biggest gift, you guys, from a spiritual perspective. Denial of anything that looks like you don't want it to look, immediate denial of that, and immediate affirmative work in the other direction is crucial in moments like that. So when you have a diagnosis or something that is like, you don't give a voice to it, you don't talk about it to people, you don't give it energy, you don't give it attention. The quickest way to freeze out any awful looking circumstance is to give it no attention at all and completely start to construct speaking and feeling in the other direction as quickly as possible. So little commercial there for Priscilla. Because what usually happens, you guys, somebody gets news they don't really want, and then what happens? You start talking about it to everybody. Oh my God, blah, blah, blah.
Your brain doesn't know the difference.
And every time that you give a voice to it, you give it life. So when we're confronted with something that we don't want, shut it down. Shut it down right away. And if you have some people that help you with like prayer work and stuff like that, if you're that, then you call those people, because you tell them what seems to be the case, and they will help you start working in the other direction. I promise you, that's a huge tool. Okay, I don't want to go too much overtime. So listen, here's your opportunity for this week. Think about, how are you looking at where you are? And instead of looking from where you are to where you want to go, I want you to look at where you were 20 years ago and examine that based on where you are now. And then sit in there for a little while and get it. Just get it. Get that you made it. Get that it turned out. Get that you turned it around. Get that you survived the bankruptcy in my case. Get that you were able to buy a house. Get that, like, just receive what you accomplished. Be in that. And then from that, create the 10 times what you are now. And start to construct that from a feeling of being a badass, a feeling of self-worth, a feeling of accomplishment, a feeling of moving forward in strength. Karen, you want to say anything?
I'm a listener this week. So for me, I'm one of your listeners. I'm really taking it in because I know, you're speaking to what I'm doing.
Well, sometimes it's like that. Yeah, I told her this morning when we got on in the studio, I said, I had a whole plan, but like God just blew it to shit. So yeah. I said, I have something that I need to say this morning. Sometimes that happens, which is lots of times why I don't create an event, because it's like, if I say, they ask me, what's the schedule for coffee chat? It's like, okay, I can give you a schedule, but sometimes God goes, oh, no, this is what you need to say this morning. So that's how it was this morning. Anyway, I hope you all have a great week. We will be coming to you from our respective hotel rooms in Boston, because in order to work with the studio, we got to be on separately, or I guess we could be side by side, whatever. We'll figure it out. And hopefully it works for my laptop. I'm going to test it before we leave.
Well, it works for mine. I'm bringing mine.
It is? Okay. You're on it now from there?
Perfect. Yep, always.
Okay. All right. So we will see you guys next week. We will be holding space for you to really see what you've accomplished. Really feel your own self-worth and really sit and breathe into how far you've come. Like, honest to God, I think, including me, I don't do that a lot. I really don't, and we all have to do that, because you won't create 10 times. You won't create anything magnificent from always just having a 2 times mentality. You won't. You'll just keep like going along. And I want more than that for me, and I want more than that for you. So I encourage you to maybe even go back and listen to this again and really do that work. Look at where you were 2 decades ago versus where you are now, and really get how far you've come. All right, we will see you next week live from Boston, and that's it. Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.